Hey there, it is a cloudy day here in Minnesota. Pete Bissonnette, Learning Strategies, Breakfast, Tea, and Bourbon, your favorite book of all times. We're going to do 4 things today. The first thing we're going to do is address the question that is on everybody's mind. And no, it's not where the treasure is, but rather, is that rooster up there, is that really made out of solid milk chocolate? Second thing we're going to do is play a psychic game. Then we're going to talk about one of the chapters in the book, and then I'm going to answer questions that you have about the treasure hunt. So first of all, is that rooster made out of solid chocolate? Can't tell you. I can't answer that for you, sorry. Yeah, right, okay. So now let's play that psychic game. So you may remember we've been playing this now for about 3 videos. Started doing it because we have a virtual training at Learning Strategies going on that's called Psychic Awakening. And I thought it'd be fun to play with you guys because if you got really good at it, perhaps we can give some clues about where the treasure is and you can tune into them. Let's have this be another practice session. So if you're watching this video while driving, pull over to the side of the road because I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. What we're going to do is relax a little bit, close our eyes, let an image that I'm holding in my mind come into your mind. Then you describe it aloud to yourself, or actually speak it aloud, and then write in comments as to what you are seeing in your mind. So here's what we want to do. Okay, so close your eyes, take a deep breath in, slowly exhale, let all the stress drain out of your body. Just relax. Let's do it again. Deep breath in. Slowly exhale. Now, in your mind's eye, see a candle flame. Let it flicker. Maybe let the flame get bigger and brighter. Let it fill your whole eyes, your mind's eye. Now clear your mind and allow an image to come into your mind. I'm holding an image in my mind. I have the object at my feet, and I'll show it to you in a couple of minutes. But describe that image aloud. What do you see? What does it look like? Does it seem like something you have in your life right now? Does it have a smell? Take a whiff. What does it smell like? Touch it. What's the feel of it? Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it velvety? What's the general shape of it? Now describe this aloud because when you say it aloud, it's easier to remember. And something that you might do too, if you're wondering how accurate you are, your intuition is down in your belly. Ask your belly, ask your intuition, is this accurate? And if you get a yes, great, continue with it. If you get a no, then maybe clear your mind again and allow another image to come in. Okay, if you're ready, I'm going to pick up the object and show it to you. If you're not ready, just press pause. Okay, ready? Let me show you. It is a stone rose. It is something that a friend of mine, Heather, gave to me in the fall of 2010 when my dad died. And her husband made it. He carved this out of stone. I don't know how he did it. Lasers, somehow or another. And it's a rose. And so if you guessed a rose, or if you saw an image of the rose in your mind, great. It doesn't have to have been a stone rose, because most people don't know what a stone rose is if they haven't seen them, but maybe you saw a regular rose. If you did, hey, that's a plus. Okay, what colors did you see? If you saw these yellow, creamy color, great, but if it was more like a regular rose, a pink, a red or yellow, that's a hit too. Then what does it feel like? If it felt cool to the touch, you got it because you were feeling the temperature of the stone. But if it felt like neutral or warm, you could have been feeling an actual rose. So when you touched it, was it hard, like this piece of stone, or was it soft and velvety like a rose? Did you maybe feel a pricker in your finger? So what you want to do now is go through what your thoughts were and put them in the comment field. Let us know how accurate you were. Did you get like a bulbous shape up here? Did you get a flame shape up here? Does anything in here, you're going for the tiniest concrete piece of evidence that we're tuned in? Okay, write it down, and then we'll play with it again sometime in the future too. How's that sound? So let me put this down. In the last video, I read an email that I received from a reader of the book. Her name was Leslie from California. And it mentioned the chapter 7 on continual smelling of the roses, how that changed her life. And the last few months have been the happiest of her life. Then I got a bunch of emails from folks and messages. And so I want to bring it up and talk about it again because like 2 of the emails came in, and the women who wrote those emails said that that was their favorite chapter of the book too, that it really got them to think about what was going on in their lives. Another a guy wrote in and asked me, what was the inspiration for including that chapter in the book? Well, what was happening was at that time that I was writing that chapter, I heard from 2 people. One was a friend and one was a client. Since they both came up with the same thing, I figured I got to pay attention to it. And they were saying how they weren't finding time to enjoy their life, that it was always rushing. They're rushing to do this and they're rushing to do that. They didn't have time for vacation. They didn't have time for friends. And there was always this stress in it. And I started to think, well, why don't I have that in my life? What am I doing differently? And it goes back to 2007, the summer of 2007, when I started working with Jetta Molly. She then created our program called Seeds of Enlightenment as a meditation program. But we were getting together on Skype for 2 hours every Thursday morning for about 10 months. And it was a meditation. And one of the things that I learned from that is how to find joy and peace and happiness no matter what's going on around you. And it reminded me of a book that I read that was back from the 1970s. It was called You Can Have It All by Arnold Patent. And one of the things that he says is that if you want to make progress on your goal, if you want to get to a different place in your life, no matter what's going on around you right now, what you have to do is you have to figure out how to find peace in the moment, how to find that joy and happiness. Even if there's a lot of strife and anxiety in your life, how do you find the peace with it? How do you find the joy in that moment? Now, of course, when I met him for lunch in the 1990s, he denied ever having written anything like that. So I probably got it wrong, but nonetheless, it works for me. And so that's what you want to do too and that's what I learned from Jed, is how to find that peace in every moment, that joy and that happiness. And it doesn't matter what's going on in my life. If it's at the office and things are really hectic, I can still find that joy. If it's just looking out the window and looking at the evergreen trees at the office, or if I'm working on the property here and it's a lot of work, I can find the joy and the beauty and everything that's around me. That's one of the things that I encourage you to try to figure out how to get it into your life. And if, like Lane in the book, he was rushing in the morning to get ready so he can sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee. Then he'd go to work, he'd work all day, and it was always rushing at the restaurant. Then he'd rush to get to a bar to have cocktails with friends so he could relax. Well, that type of rush and relax, that's not very good. So go back, reread chapter 7, and see what's in there that maybe you can apply into your life. And if there's any shifts that you can do in your life, might make life a little bit easier for you. Now, some questions. One of the questions that I received, and I received this one from a couple of people actually, do I have the treasure? Now, before I answer that question, for those of you who may be new to Breakfast, Tea, and Bourbon, what we're doing here, Breakfast, Tea, and Bourbon is a novel. It's a story about 5 best friends on a treasure hunt. But it has a unique twist to it in that there's also a real live treasure hunt going on here in the United States, because I hid a treasure somewhere in the United States. It's a beautiful handcrafted item that if you find it and you, ooh, I think I just gave you a clue as far as the size. It's a beautiful handcrafted item, first of all. If what you're finding is not a beautiful handcrafted item, that's not the treasure. So, and besides, you'll know if it's a treasure because if it's perfectly with the book, when you see what it is, you go, oh my God, that's it exactly. So I hid this treasure somewhere in the US, and then within the book, between the lines of the story, I wrote clues and hidden messages that were designed to lead you to where the treasure is. Find the treasure, bring it back to me, and I'll give you $50,000 in cash, $5,000 for your favorite charity, and 100 bottles of Lido Bay wine. So the question is, do I have the money? Do I have the wine? Well, yes, yes, and no. I have $50,000 in cash. I have $5,000 for your favorite charity. When you take the cash, you can either take it in coins. I have 50,000 US dollar coins, or you can take a check or a combination thereof. For the charity, we'll write out a check right then and there, send it to your favorite charity. It's the wine. I don't have the wine. Because my friend Dave Armstrong, he owns Lido Bay Winery. We've been friends for 25 years. He will be shipping the wine. It's only shippable to some states in the US. Some states you can't ship the wine to, so we have to figure out creatively how to get the wine to you. But that's all taken care of, so you don't have to worry about it. Another one, a couple of people asked me too about my secret trip to Europe and whether on my secret trip, which ended up being to Europe, but the question was, did I go check on the treasure? Did I maybe check to make sure it was still there, or did I go to retrieve it? And well, I certainly didn't go check on the treasure, because if I did, I know I was going to run into somebody like you. Heck, even when I hid the treasure, wait till you hear the story about when I hid the treasure. You're just going to absolutely love it, because no matter where I travel, I always tend to run into somebody. Am I going to cancel the hunt? Is there any chance that I'm going to cancel the hunt? No, not a rat's chance. The hunt is on, someone will find the treasure, and someone will be given the award. There's not a chance at all, for any reason, that the hunt would be canceled. Another question that I get quite a bit, and I may have addressed this before, I don't remember, but I've gotten it from a few more people in the last week, is, do I have a child? No, that's fiction from the book. Nels had a child from the book, and that's part of what the story is, but no, it's not. It wasn't my child. The story is a piece of fiction. Different things in lives may have inspired this or that, like I told you about that chapter 7 with the continual smelling of the roses. But it is a piece of fiction, and I don't have a child. But thanks for asking. So that's it for now. Pete Bissonette here. Leave me messages, send me emails, send me private messages. If there's a part of the book that you really like, if there's a story that you'd like me to talk about a little bit more, and where did it come from? Was there something that inspired it? Let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.